83% of business owners and entrepreneurs out there actually end up losing everything and going right back to a 9-to-5 grind because their marketing doesn't get results, because it's not about the marketing platforms. It's about what you put into the marketing.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
Hello, business stars.
Are we live?
How do you know whether your brand is actually helping you or hurting you? Well, it's a fair question, and one you should be asking before you do any marketing.
Yes. In this episode, listen, we're going to help you determine whether your brand is helpful or your brand is hurtful, and exactly what you can do about it in as little as 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just dig right in. So first of all, your brand is helping you if you're getting contacted by exactly the type of prospects you want. In other words, if at least 75% of the people you end up doing business with are a perfect fit, then your brand is helping you. Congratulations, guys.
Yep. And your brand's also helping you if people refer to you as your brand identifier or your slogan. We call it a brand identifier for a reason. We can get into that. If you're known for that, if they are calling you by those monikers, your brand's probably working for you.
Yep, that's right. Right. And we got to mention this too. If they're referring to you as your brand identifier or what you're known for, even if it's kind of like in a snide sort of a way, I'm going to explain that because your competitors will tend to do that sometimes, or people that are jealous of your brand, guys. And that actually happens. So if somebody makes a snide comment about your brand, or, oh, I've seen you on all of these billboards that say this, or whatever it is, they're making comments about that sort of snidely. It just means there's jealousy out there.
And
right?
It's working.
And it's working. It's working. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay. So your brand is also working for you if your prospects show up ready to work with you, even if they are just meeting you for the first time. Now, this actually happens quite often. And it's one of the greatest side effects of a super strong brand, because that's allowing your brand to precede you. See, brand is about perception. Marketing is about promoting that perception. So when you get the right perception out and people are familiar with you and what you stand for, even before you walk into a meeting or get on the phone with them for the first time, then that prepares them to want to do business with you in a much better way. But you've got to dial that story in. You've got to tell all of that so that people do get to know you and what you stand for before they come into contact with you. Okay. That's a huge part. That's why I spent so much time on it.
Yeah, it's very big. You also know that your brand is working if you know exactly where to market and what to say in your marketing. If you know exactly and you can tell an ROI from that, then your brand's probably working for you.
And you know a lot about that.
Because I know a lot about that.
When we first met, he was doing marketing, and he's actually a fantastic marketer, but it just wasn't working for him because some of it was done in the wrong place, but most of it was about what to put in the marketing, what to say in it. And that's the difference. See, you can choose any kind of marketing platform you want, but if what you're saying and expressing through that marketing platform isn't just right, guess what?
It doesn't work. And then, then you're one of those people that are like, hey, marketing doesn't work. I was one of those people that would say marketing does not work. I can tell you, though, if you have a brand and your brand is dialed in the way it's supposed to, marketing absolutely works, and you absolutely can track an ROI, and you absolutely can wash, rinse, and repeat over and over and over again the things that are working. If you don't have a brand, you cannot do that.
Yep. Which brings us to the most important and final reason that, your brand is helping you is if your marketing gets results, guys. And, that's the biggest problem that people face. 83% of business owners and entrepreneurs out there actually end up losing everything and going right back to a 9-to-5 grind because for that specific reason, because their marketing doesn't get results, because it's not about the marketing platforms. It's about what you put into the marketing. Okay?
Right.
All right.
Now, here's the juxtaposition. Your brand could be hurting you, especially if you don't know what your brand is or you haven't been working on and dialing in a brand. Your brand could be hurting you if you find that it takes too long to describe exactly what you do and why. Listen, if you're a landscaper, right, and you say, somebody says, what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a landscaper. You haven't told them anything. They don't know if you cut grass. They don't know if you're an arborist. They don't know if you're a horticulturist. They don't know what your background is. They don't know why you got into it. They don't know anything about you. And so if you find that you cannot describe who you are and how you can help your customers, then you got a brand that's hurting you, or you don't have a brand at all, which is hurting you.
Correct. All right. The next reason you know your brand is hurting you is if you're not mentioning a specific type of customer in your marketing. Kind of follows along more with what Michael just said. If you're not calling out the type of person that you are best suited to help, then your brand is not going to help you. It's going to hurt you. Why? Because you cannot be all things to all people. It's been tried many times, and that's part of the 83% that is back at the 9-to-5 grind, guys.
Okay? You try to help everybody, help yourself right out of business.
Exactly.
Yep. Your brand could be hurting you if people don't recognize you for being different in your profession. You know, if they say, hey, you're in the real estate business, that's not good enough. Like I know.
So are thousands of others.
Yeah, I can name you about 100 that live on my street. Right. And so that's not enough. They got to know how you're different in your profession. And if you don't know how you're different in your profession, then you're going right back to that first one I talked about. You're not able to describe to your clients and potential customers how you're different.
Yep. And so that goes right along with one of our great quotes, which is, people don't only need to know your profession. They need to know how you're different in your profession.
That's right. Yep.
All right. Next is your brand could be hurting you if you're attracting prospects who ghost you, waste your time, or don't respect your knowledge. Okay. And or experience or any of those other things they're supposed to respect.
And we have all been there.
Boy, like we could literally go for 2 hours on this topic alone because this happens and people wonder, well, why does it happen? Especially when, some people reach out to you and they want more information. And then when you return their call or the next time you try to call them, they act like they never talked to you, right? It's happened. It's happened. And of course, that all wastes your time. And when people don't respect your knowledge, they're not going to take your advice. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. And honestly, wouldn't you rather just not have anybody to work with than have somebody like that who wasted your time? We want to make sure that your brand is dialed in enough so that you don't have to worry about those people who are ghosting you, wasting your time, and disrespecting you.
Agreed. Another way that you could tell that your brand might be hurting you is if you're getting little to no results in your marketing. Just the exact opposite of what we were talking about. If it's helping you, if it's working, you're getting results. If you're not getting results, it most likely is your brand. Most people, I would say 95% of the people who fail in business, it is because they are not getting the results in their marketing because they are trying to market without dialing their brand in. That was me for many a year.
Exactly. And that goes back to my early days in the media world. For those of you who know my story, I started out in radio and I noticed that there were so many people wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on their marketing because they were just doing like some of the things we talked about today. They were just putting a basic message out there. Hey, here's my name and here's what I do. And if you or someone would like this, then call me, right? And that's not very compelling. It's not different. It's not engaging. No. So those are the things that you want to pay attention to. And those are the things that cause you to spend so much money and get little or no results from your marketing. Okay. And just one more added one, the way your brand is hurting you is if your friends and family sometimes just forget what you do. It would be funny if it wasn't so true.
No,
right?
I know.
It would be funny because it does happen. They just, oh, well, you know what? Doggone it. I forgot you did that. I'm so sorry. I just, gave that business to somebody on the softball field last week, for my kids' softball game. So those are the things that are very, very frustrating, right? And hopefully, none of those latter ones are familiar to you. But if you're like most people, a lot of them are familiar to you.
Yeah. And, so our little test right here, if you go back through it, should be easy to tell whether or not your brand is helping you or your brand is hurting you. And if it's hurting you,
well, we want to help you.
We do.
So just go to discussyourbrand.com. You're going to fill out a short form so that we have more information about you and we're better prepared to talk about your challenges, your needs, your goals, how we can help you create a personal brand that teaches people how to treat you. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's for? Like when you have a chance to influence how people view you and what they think about you and what you want to be known for, my goodness, that's like setting the stage up, right? For a windfall, for huge success.
Yep.
That's what we do in personal branding. Okay. Best of all, we do it all for you and the journey's simple. You just have to take the first step. Discussyourbrand.com.
It's a very short step, so step it. Let's do it,
Let's
guys.
do it.
I'm telling you, we bring value to you like this every week. So also, we're going to take a moment and let you subscribe so you're first to find out about this. But Tonya and I literally want to give you the information that she shared with me years ago in business. I knew some success. I've always known success. I thank the Lord for that. But when it came to business and came to being able to take a formula that works so you can grow a business, so you can build that foundation and then make step that's growth, and be able to track that, it boiled down to my brand. So subscribe, hit that button right there, and we're going to teach you all about branding, okay? Listen, we do this for prosperity. When we talk about prosperity, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the full 360 of the abundant life that we truly want for every one of y'all. And we know that at BrandFace, prosperity favors the bold. So we say, be bold, folks, especially with your brand and especially for the rest of 2022. And thank you, Ms. Tonya.
Thank you. And we'll see you next time, guys. Remember, build a brand that helps you, not hurts you.
Bye, guys.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.